had over 40 launches this year alone. What has that been like?
We're gonna get past 50 tonight, I think. But for me, I'm incredibly honored to be leading this team. It really is all about the team and the work. Highly dedicated, a highly motivated workforce. We have an incredible mission, and we all come together and embrace the challenge and make things happen.
Great team. Janet, Kelvin, thank you both so much for being here tonight.
To hear from them. So 1 hour and 48 minutes and counting issue. So why don't we go back to him now to see if he has an update for us?
Yeah, Megan, continuing to track those work at the launch pad. This is a specially trained team of 3 individuals, 2 technicians, 1 safety representative who are the mobile launcher at the base of the launch pad. They are doing work on a replenish valve, currently torquing down the bolts. Leak in that replenish valve that was detected a little over an hour ago. Now, this is significant because currently they have had to go into what's called stop flow on the liquid hydrogen tank of the core stage. Maintain a level of around 100%, but hydrogen in the core stage hydrogen tank. Estimated that it would take 15 minutes to do the work, but as we're now allowing the launch team to cycle the valves to test to see if they've got that leak fixed. So as they do this, we understand they will cycle this work, go in, cycle the valves, torque them down again if it's a leak, and then back out and test the work. And this may continue until they have it fixed. The red crew going onto the launch pad isn't a common occurrence, certainly new with the Artemis program, but work like this was done in previous space programs, especially trained for this work. They are accustomed to working around in hazardous operation, especially a fully tanked rocket. Again, we are tracking Red Crew's operation out at the pad. It's expected that this will eat into the launch off at 1:04 a.m. Eastern time, but the window runs 2 hours to 3:04 a.m. Eastern time. Again, monitoring crew's work. We'll have more updates for you a little later on. For now, back to you, Megan.
Thank you, Daryl. Some quick see if you have NASA's UHD channel bottom of your screen. So if you're here, live commentary in Spanish. That broadcast starts at midnight. Now, Kayla, why did NASA choose the name Artemis for our return to the moon?
Era, the amazing things we did as part of the Apollo program, but so it's a connection to the past with an eye towards what we might.
And first person of color on the lunar surface. That is a worthwhile.
Evolved is our astronaut corps, more not only in our astronaut corps, but our larger team only make us a stronger one.
To hear from some of the Apollo astronauts and learn more about what we will accomplish for NASA's first female launch director. Visitors gets the surprise of a lifetime. Plus, we'll take your questions live. You can send those our way by using the hashtag Artemis. And we also invite you to share your beautiful, the flower in the foreground there, the moon in the background.
Here's an awesome one. It looks like we have an eagle here flying over the moon. Just beautiful. It's been really cool to see all these.
Oh yeah, really creative. And we're going to compile as many as we can and show them later on the broadcast. Now,
the red team give a thumbs up, some bolts to the specification requirement. It went above the 1% threshold, and so that is if you look at the rocket on the pad, they were called, and they appeared to be making their way, at least have stepped back from the area of work. Has been going as they torque down the bolts, step back a little bit. The launch team then cycles the valve bolts again. the rocket was, the core stage was in replenish for both hydrogen and oxygen. The upper stage had nearly been finished when it's detected, and the countdown, though it is continuing, the rocket, the leak had to be addressed in order for the launch to proceed. The replenish puts the hydrogen tank after it boils off, and so currently we're in a stop flow, which no longer allows a replenishment of the hydrogen tank, not allow us to have a launch without those tanks being in total replenish, and also in a vented config has been stopped. Here from Firing Room 1 at the Launch Control Center. Megan will...
1 hour, 41 minutes until, again, the planned start of the 2-hour launch window. Just inside in front of a Saturn V rocket, which is moon board. It's an interactive tool.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Our shoulder as we meet the rocket that's going to do it with the next generation under our... Just to give you some perspective, so that valve that Daryl's been talking about in August and September in these 33-foot tall SLS. But let's jump right in. A couple of key components to LED rocket boosters. If they look familiar, they're derived from those that flew the space shuttle. In fact, some of the segments of these boosters today were flown, call them solids because of the type of propellant inside. If you were able to look in, you would see a mix of ammonium perchlorate, aluminum powder, and a nitrile. It's your expert vocabulary word for the day. Now, as these are firing, they're providing more than 90% of the steering, and 7 makes its way uphill. And those are attached to the core stage, 212 feet tall, 5 major sections. We're going to start the fun RS-25 engines, again, derived from those that flew the space shuttle. In addition, we have this core engine section here where we have all action points where we're feeding the propellants into the core stage itself. And as these are firing, each one providing a second as they go uphill. Now, these are an oxidizer, about 200,000 of liquid oxygen up here that you see running down out of this, the intertank section, the inner engine block. Now, all the way up top, we have the forward skirt. It's where you have your antennas. And if we zoom in, why does it look all bumpy? We have hundreds of degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. And so in the upper skirt, we have the second stage, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, or ICPS. This is a modified upper from United Launch Alliance. Single RLMD-2 engine, also propelled by liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, go beyond low Earth orbit and head out to the moon. All together, let's get back to the countdown. I'll send it over to you, Megan.
Rocket and Orion spacecraft together, standing just taller than the